This is my UFC 322 Makhachev versus JDM prediction and analysis. So let's get right to the point. I'm going with Makhachev by a late submission. I'd say maybe end of the third to the fifth round, possibly a decision. Obviously, this fight's going to come down to, can JDM keep it on the feet? And if he gets taken down, can he get back up? Now, I do think JDM will be able to stuff a few of the takedowns, but I think ultimately we will see Makhachev take JDM down, and I do think he'll be able to keep him there. I do think JDM is a bit overrated. I mean, looking at his record, his last few fights were Basil Hafez, who the fuck is that guy? Beat him by a split decision, then a split decision with Kevin Holland, then a tough fight with an out of his prime, I'd say somewhat washed Gilbert Burns. Also, Gilbert Burns is a former lightweight, just like Makhachev. He was able to get JDM down multiple times and had a lot of success until JDM found that knee in the third round. JDM's best win undoubtedly is Belal. The difference between Makhachev and Belal, first of all, I think overall Makhachev is a much better fighter than Belal. I think Makhachev is a much better wrestler than Belal. I think he's got better striking. I think Belal also didn't come in with the best game plan. Obviously, Belal didn't choose to wrestle until the later rounds. And when he did choose to wrestle, he did start to have some success. Now, I was impressed with JDM in the Belal fight. I do think JDM is improving. He showed some great scrambles, obviously working with Craig Jones. But I do think a big factor that people aren't talking about in this Makhachev fight is that the difference between the Belal fight and the Makhachev fight for JDM is in the Belal fight, JDM could focus a lot more on stuffing takedowns because Belal isn't really a threat on the feet. Belal isn't really a finisher. Despite the Canelo hands allegations, Belal isn't really the most dangerous guy on the feet. So he can focus a lot more on stuffing those takedowns. Whereas with Makhachev, I think Makhachev is very underrated boxing. And I think JDM, if he's too focused on stuffing those takedowns, Makhachev could catch him on the feet. As far as the size difference, I don't think it'll be as big of a factor as people are saying. Makhachev recently posted some pictures. They had a face-off as well, and they look about the same size, and it looks like Makhachev has put on a good amount of muscle. Like I said, JDM did struggle against a former lightweight in Gilbert Burns. And who knows, maybe not cutting that weight actually benefits Makhachev. Maybe it helps his cardio. Makhachev will be the faster guy. So I don't think it'll be as big of a factor as people are saying. Makhachev's a pretty big lightweight. But yeah, this isn't to say I'd be completely surprised if JDM wins the fight. It's MMA, JDM's super talented. I could see him winning. I would not be surprised. I'm not saying Makhachev is a lock by any means, but if I'm going to make a pick, I'm going to go Makhachev with a late submission, possibly decision. Drop a comment. Let me know who you guys got winning the fight. Let me know if you guys disagree or agree with my analysis. I want to hear your thoughts.